Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to plan your week with me. So we're obviously first we're going to go through some phrases to avoid using when you're doing like stories or you're talking in your stories, or even in like videos or anything like that. And then maybe some alternatives that you could use. And then we're going to go through our days, Monday through Saturday, Facebook, Instagram, and stories. So get started because it's Sunday and it's healing at my house, so that's fun. But anyways, so the phrases to avoid using, I actually pulled this from Brock Johnson, and I completely agree with what he had to say about it. And there was a lot of people that were heated in the comments on his one of his latest reels that he did about this. And I think it's so important to, because I see it all the time, to address it. So these are the phrases to avoid using when you're talking in your stories. And I think they're very natural things that we want to say, but and I'll give the reason why you want to avoid saying things like this. So the first one I have is girl boss. The only reason that one's on the list, and there were so many people in the comments that agreed with this, is because it's such an overused phrase, if you will. And it kind of makes it like you have to put that thing in the front in order for you to be justified as a boss. Why can't you just be an entrepreneur? We have to take our business seriously, if we're going to be taken seriously. And we are, in fact, entrepreneurs. We have a business. And I think when you throw out phrases like boss babe or girl boss, that you often lose credibility with those things. I know there are things that people want to use, but it's so 2005. So we'll just say that. The next one is, a lot of people have been asking. Now, every time somebody says this, I'm like, have they though? Have they really though? And they might be, and that's fine. But you're always going to get that question of people when you say, a lot of people have been asking about my blah, about my product, my skincare routine, my recipes, or blah, 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 blah. And one reason that you want to do that is because when you're don't want to do that is because when you're talking in your stories, you're essentially trying to build connection with a single individual. Yes, we have a group of people that follow us usually, whether that's 100 or 100,000. You might have that group, but especially when you're starting to build your social media presence, you want to make it as one-on-one as you can. Once you build a larger following later on, you can use those terms, because when people have like 100, or we'll just say like 50,000 plus followers, it's to be expected when you hop onto their page and you see that they have that many followers, that it's a group of people following. But if it's like 4,000 and you're just getting discovered from people, you want to try to connect with the people on a one-to-one individual basis. So if you're using terms like, a lot of people have been asking me, and you have like 100 followers, people are like, really? Have they though? So that's another phrase to avoid. The hey girl is one, of course, that is so overly used and has been abused. So if you can avoid using that one, use people's names if you know them, if you're reaching out to them. Usually hey girl is a way to, I laugh because I still see it, is a way to cold message or connect with people via cold message. The goal is for you to build connection before you're hopping into their inbox, right? So you're replying to their stories, you're replying to their posts. And if you're just hopping in without really building any sort of genuine connection, it's going to come out of left field. And yeah, if it feels icky for you, it feels icky for them, is what I always say. Just popping on is another one. You're not just popping on, okay? You have an intention as to why you're coming into your stories, whether that's you want to share something that you've recently started taking, or a new product that you're using. If you're saying, oh, I'm just popping on to say, you had intention to get in. You're not just popping on. So what are I'll give some different uses that you can use instead of that after I go through the rest of them. Hey guys, you guys is another one. So by saying hey guys or you guys, and like, let's say, again, you're trying to build connection with one person. And the more that I use terms like you or I mean, just you, honestly, the more that I get response from people. So especially on posts too, when we're so used to saying things like because you're telling your story, the more that you can transform that into a you statement so that you're directing it at a single person, the more that you're going to get resonation from people. They're going to resonate a lot more with that. So imagine have you ever, could you, have you, do you, that sort of thing is going to relate to people so much more because they're going to be reading through that. And then if they're seeing you, it's immediately like, oh, me, I'm reading this. And then if you touch on something that they can relate to, they're like, oh my gosh, it's almost like you were speaking exactly to me. But if you're saying like, hey, you guys, it's such a broad thing. And the people that were getting mad in the comments is because he said y'all, avoiding phrases like y'all. And he's like, these people are like, I'm from Texas, I have to say y'all, blah, blah, blah. But you really just want to try to build that connection with people one-on-one. So what are some different phrases that you could use instead of the ones that I just presented? So like girl boss, you could say, instead of like, I'm a girl boss, you could say as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, or as a small business owner, say those things because you legitimately have a business. Do you do write-offs every year? If you're not, first of all, you should, but you have a business. You're generating income. You're going on social media with the intent to sell. You are a 1099 person. You have a business. You're an entrepreneur. You're a small business owner. You're a business owner. So use those terms because there's so much better than you saying I'm a girl boss. Like, what does that even mean? A boss of who? Nobody wants to be a boss. We're not in this business to be bosses either. We are in this business to be mentors and to help people start their own business. So using those phrases instead of a lot of people have been asking, just jump in and talk about it. And someone said in the comments that I read that said, nobody asked, but I'm going to share it anyways. And I thought that was super funny. So, I mean, that's a way that you could spin it. But I think so often we have our own agenda when we're talking about things instead of really trying to see how we're able to help somebody. So when you're saying like a lot of people have been asking, and especially if nobody has been asking, like if it feels weird to you, it's going to feel weird to your audience. So just avoid using that one and switch it up to something like something that I've been taking that I really enjoy. If you're a mom of blah, or if you can relate to this specific thing, like this might help you out as well. Just, would you ever go up to somebody? This is what I always say. Would you ever go up to somebody and talk to them like you're talking in your stories? So like if it was you and me right here, and we were having a conversation back and forth, and I came up to you and was like, a lot of people have been asking about my skincare routine. You would be like, what in the frick is wrong with you? So it's like you're try to have a conversation with people in your stories. If you have information to share, just say like, I want to talk about this because I know some of them, I know you might be struggling with this as well. Don't say some of you, that one kind of slipped out, but talk like you're having a conversation with people. If you were like, hey, you guys, it was just you and I in a conversation. I was like, hey, you guys, I want to tell you about this thing. You'd be like, what in the world is wrong? Who else is here? Are you okay mentally? Like, what's going on? So the more that you can make it like a conversation between two people when you're talking in the stories, the better. Instead of just saying, just popping on, another way that you could say this is just get into the thing that you're talking about. Just get into it. If you're starting your phrase with, I'm just popping on, chances are people are going to be like, next, or scroll to the next person out completely. But if you're like, let's talk about this thing. And that is so much more, I think, impactful. Or have you ever dealt with this? Because this is something I deal with and I know I can't be alone. And then you go into talking about your topic, so much better. And say, instead of saying guys or you guys, obviously say you. And so those are just some of the phrases to avoid using. Girl boss, a lot of people have been asking, hey girl, just popping on, and hey guys, you guys. So every time I hear you guys, you guys, I just had to tell you this, or hey guys, I'm like, stop, just stop it. I am watching your story by myself in my living room. There is nobody here with me watching. It's just me. So that's just what I think. Anyways, let's go into our days. This VIP bonus thing is so amazing and so achievable to get VIP 400. If you are counting yourself out, knock it off. Knock it off right now. We're going to stop doing that right now. So it is so achievable. 2 people. If you get one person to order on auto ship and one person to order anything as a promoter, it doesn't even have to be a pack, which is amazing. And that equals $400. You get a $200 bonus and $100 in free credits. Like, why are you not running like your hair is on fire for this? So I'm going to try to incorporate that as much as I can into this week, because you have until the 19th. So I'm going to talk about some strategies too with this. The first thing you probably want to do with the VIP 400, 800, 1600, the first thing you want to do before you like think of like, oh, how am I going to talk about this on my social media? The first thing that should be on your list is reaching out to free customer accounts and promoters that have never ordered that are under you. That's the easiest way for you to achieve this. So a conversation with a customer might look, somebody that's created a free account, say like, hey, I know that you created a free account a while ago, and I just wanted to reach out and see if there was anything that you were interested in or that piqued your interest, or if you've logged on recently, or if I can help with anything. Just be a person. If it's a promoter, say like, I don't know if you saw your email. I know you were interested in promoting an X amount of days, years, months ago, but I wanted to let you know about this, because if I didn't, I feel like I'd be disservicing you. This bonus period is available now to everybody. Or just saying like, hey, I know that you signed up for a promoter account a long time ago. I just wanted to reach out and see if you were still interested, or if I can take you off my list. Like, just come to people like regular humans. So that's the very first thing that you should do. Okay, so Monday for Facebook, I have business lifestyle, or do your live thrive story. Say that 5 times fast. Do a live, just sharing your thrive experience. The reason that I say that you should probably, I will lean towards your thrive story more than anything, because the reason I'm saying that is we got a short amount of time for us to be as impactful as possible to achieve these bonuses. So what are the most impactful ways that you can do that? Using your voice and actually speaking to people instead of just creating word text. So just say like, hey, it's been a really long time since I've shared why I got started with Thrive in the first place. A lot of you might have known me prior to this, and you might have known me as someone that was tired, exhausted, not confident, like whatever. Explain your story. And it kind of helps reignite yourself too in the process. But if you can go live, I would highly suggest going live. Business lifestyle would just be like talking about how you are able to work this business whenever. And the reason I'm doing that instead of doing a capsule Monday is because, again, we have a very short window that we need to make as impactful as possible. So Instagram, I have reel, and you could do like a vlog style. So like a day in the life of like what you do, or so like how you prepare for, I'm just going to give some examples of people that I know personally. Like if you're a homeschool mom, like a day of preparing for homeschool. If you're somebody that is like on a specific weight loss journey, you could talk about like, what does your day typically look like? If you're a busy mom of 3 kids that works full time, like how do you fit everything in? Do like a vlog style of that sort of thing. So stories, I have video. You're talking about your morning routine and your 3 steps, and you're talking about it in a way that's relatable to the people that are watching you that aren't currently thrivers and have no idea what you're talking about. So you would say like, I know it's Monday, and how many times have you hit the snooze this morning? Because I used to hit it all the time. These help me not do that anymore. This helps me with that. That helps me with that. So just making it super relatable to the people that are watching your stories. Tuesday, Facebook, I have business and talking about the VIP bonuses. Obviously, we can't name specific numbers for the bonus, like what amount it is, but you could say things like, I mean, let's address the elephant in the freaking room. It's hard to afford things right now. And how impactful would it be to put money, extra money in your pocket every single Tuesday, whether that's $25 to put more gas in your gas tank or to be able to buy extra groceries. Make it super relatable and talk about the things that people are actually feeling at this moment in time. So that's what I would do, because I can't tell you like what I would do without my weekly paychecks right now when our grocery store runs have like practically doubled. Thankfully, I don't have to drive anywhere for work. So the gas issue isn't really affecting me, but groceries for sure, especially since I'm trying to eat healthy. I obviously have to turn over my produce so much faster, and it's so much more expensive to continually have to go and buy groceries. But anyways, address the elephant in the room. Instagram, I have a carousel with information. So this will be like a text form carousel. If you want an example, you can go to my Instagram, look at my most recent post in there. Stories, I have business talking about the VIP. Again, address the elephant in the room and say like, I know maybe, or if you're somebody that has been in the business for a long period of time and maybe you had promoters that like fell off or stopped working or whatever, and you can talk about inviting them back in because you want to help them achieve this thing. Or you can talk about like, if you've ever thought about it, this is a time where I would highly suggest it because it's easier than ever. And there are so many opportunities for you to put cash in your pocket in the next week. So talk about business, and you can do that in like an unfold where you're just like writing text on a blank screen if you want, or a picture of yourself, or you can go in and just talk about it verbally as well. Wednesday, I have a plus line, or talk about a plus line. So I see a lot of people that are doing the detox because again, it doesn't have to be the 3 steps that people order. It doesn't have to be a pack for the promoters. It can be anything. So even just accumulating a bunch of plus line item orders is going to be beneficial for you. So talk about a plus line that you like, that's affordable for people because that want to get started on something. Instagram, I have reel for Wednesday with a trending sound. So you can spin this any way you want. If you see a trending sound, make it your own. And then in stories, I also have the plus line thing to talk about as well. Thursday, I have 2 options. Again, you can either do a throwback Thursday before and afters, and then talk about like how right now is the time for you to get something. Throwback Thursday, or I have go live and talk about why you decided to join the business. Like what was the pain point that you were feeling that caused you to actually click the button? Or what was the feeling that the products gave you that made you know that you had to share this with other people? Instagram, I have a carousel again, but this time with just pictures of yourself, with your family, yourself with, you know, like maybe a before and after picture. And then you show like the 3 steps and 3 other slides, like whatever it might be. Go ahead and talk about, or just go ahead and post regular pictures without text involved in the pictures. Stories for Thursday, I'm changing it up a little bit, and I actually have samples, because if we're talking about plus line, maybe you can talk about how you're throwing that into a sample for people, or they can sample the plus line product that you discussed the day before, or the 3 steps that you do every single day. So stories for Thursday is samples. Friday for Facebook, I have Flex Friday, or business. You can talk about the trip that's coming up, because anybody that joins now has the opportunity to earn that trip if you're a 4K on up. And those lifestyle getaways are like something to go to. Let me tell you, like my husband and I, we were married for 5 years and we had never had a honeymoon, and we earned the Puerto Vallarta trip. And so we were able to actually like go there for a honeymoon, and to have a 5 years later, right? But everything is taken care of, and it's just amazing. It's just good to be around other people that think like you, and you just get fired up. That's all I gotta say. And people really watch you too when you go on those things. People that don't thrive currently. So I have that Flex Friday or talk about the business trip. Instagram, I have reel, and then I have ways to know ... ways to know that it's time to get serious about, I don't know, whatever. Anything that's like ways to know that you're falling off track, ways to know that you're ready to start homeschooling, ways to know that anything that's going to help people improve in some area in their life, and then just drop the different ways. So like, for instance, I put one up like the other day about how you know that like food is taking over your life. And then I just posted all the ways to know that. Stories, I have a patch highlight. So talk about what patch you're using and why you enjoy using that one. So if you can, explain the different options that we have for patches, so that if somebody wants a different type of one, it's available to them, but explain it in a relatable way. And that's for Stories on Friday. Saturday, Facebook, I have a photo of your patch and what did it help you do today for Saturday. Instagram, I have a quote photo for Instagram on Saturday. So any sort of quote that relates to your niche, taking that and then recreating it and posting it on Instagram. And then for stories, I have talk about the trip for Saturday to Mexico. I think it's Mexico. Yeah. Isn't that where that is? Riviera Maya. Anyways, we went super fast today, but it's Sunday. I want to make sure that you get out to be able to actually plan your week. I want to make sure that you have time to enjoy your weekend. So this is always going to try to make it under 30 minutes. And I will get this posted into my YouTube shortly and post the link. You're so welcome. Thanks for coming, ladies. I appreciate it. And I will see you next Saturday, the 16th. Saturday. We'll be on Saturdays for a while. The 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, the 6th, and the 13th will all be Saturdays. So that is awesome. And I hope you have a great weekend and get after this VIP bonus, because you can absolutely achieve it. If you did not get VIP before, now is your chance. And it's even easier. So let's go do this thing. Love you guys.